Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I wanted to talk about something that I want to go ahead and do in two parts. And sorry, Jack is going to interrupt us during this one. He wants attention. Jack, I just fed you. But I'm going to do this in two parts, and it's to discuss a couple of different aspects of this. And that is how the actual internet fitness world and even the internet bodybuilding world contributes to people using anabolics who probably shouldn't use anabolics, and other steroids and performance enhancing drugs, who probably use them even sooner than they should, even if they were going to use them anyways in the long term based upon their goals. How it promotes and reinforces body image disorders and low self-esteem. And what I want to touch on today is really it's kind of the fake natty thing, but it's not really the fake natty thing. Because fake natty can almost be used as a catch-all for someone who has results that a normal genetic human being could not obtain without drugs, irrespective of how much work they put in. Because that is something people need to understand. The appearance of your physique and how you respond to training over time, there's a massive genetic component. There's a massive genetic component to what your body will look like and what it will be shaped like and structured in your aesthetics, even with the same amount of muscle mass and the same amount of body fat on two different people. Genetics plays a tremendous, overwhelming role there. And so people who have these amazing genetics, from the perspective of the average Joe, there isn't really a significant difference between them being enhanced or not in terms of their own personal goals, because they won't be able to reach those goals without drugs of what that other person may have done natural. And that's just the reality. People need to understand that we are not all created equal in terms of muscle insertions and rates of muscle growth in our frames and things. We're not equal. We just aren't. That's the real world. And everyone you see online, who we are calling fake natties, are people who have amazing physiques that are being marketed, who are competing in any sort of major physique event and are doing very, very well, whether it's bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding, men's physique, whatever, are generally genetically blessed. They may not be the ultra elite genetics, but they are genetically blessed. Their genetics are generally above average, and they're generally on some type of drugs. It's that combination. There are exceptions, and there are people who are just so genetically gifted that they do pull that off without drugs. They absolutely exist. The problem is that an example I saw, and I've seen this multiple times, and I saw an example yesterday of one of these guys posting on a thing, well, you know, the whole natty or not movement has really, it just encourages young guys to do steroids sooner. That's the biggest problem with it. And the people who are promoting this is because they're just lazy and they can't get the type of results that we get because of their laziness. And think about the message that sends out. Let's say that we give the benefit of the doubt to that guy. Let's say that guy is actually not even on anything. Let's say he is just so genetically gifted, combined with his hard work, that he's gotten those results without drugs. It is possible. The guy who said, I won't name his name, his physique, that is possible. If he has that top 1% genetics and he busted his ass for the last 8, 9, 10 years, what he has could be possible. Yeah. Unlikely, but it is possible. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Think about the nature of that statement. When you see these young guys, you see these guys, and you have guys who otherwise they got into fitness oftentimes because they have a low self-esteem. They have a poor body image. They want to feel better about themselves. Had they never seen the examples of these guys who are either very amazing genetics with a long training history, or very good genetics combined with pretty hefty amount of drugs, had they never seen these physiques, they would have never compared themselves to them. So then when people are calling them out on it, instead of them admitting that the negative that they're putting forward, they're blaming the people who are wanting people to know the truth. They're blaming the people who are being honest instead of blaming the liars for putting out an unrealistic expectation. Because if you just say that you obtained that through purely hard work and everyone else who didn't is just lazy and they're not working hard enough and they're jealous of that, that is no different than you lying about drug use, because you're lying about your genetics at that point, and you're implying that those young guys, the majority of people, the 90% or 95% of the population that cannot obtain where you are without drugs, because they don't have the genetics, and a lot of them probably won't be able to do it even with drugs. You're implying that they're just lazy. So you're now taking people who have seen your physiques, the physiques of these guys, and instead of saying, hey, maybe I'm putting out the wrong message to these guys, maybe I should let them know I have really amazing genetics. It's not just my work ethic that got me there. I'm very blessed that if these guys follow my routine and my diet, they're still not going to look like me. Sorry guys, that's the real world. They don't say that because they want to market themselves as having some special secret that they can sell. So then people are going to pay money for something that's still not going to get them to their goals. And this person is setting an unrealistic expectation, an unrealistic example. And then when these guys bust their ass and they really do train hard, they say, that guy is right, that guy is right. I just need to train harder. And they spend the next 2 or 3 years training their ass off, developing eating disorders because their diet is so strict, because they're trying to reach that standard that this person has set, who probably has much, much better genetics than them. They're trying to reach a standard. They develop eating disorders, orthorexia nervosa. In some cases, we have male anorexia coming out of this from all the dieting down to get ripped. And they still don't obtain what that person had. And that person said that everyone who doesn't, it's because they're just lazy. So now that person has a body image disorder. They feel bad about how they look. And now the person that they're trying to emulate has told them that they're a lazy piece of shit. And they tried so hard, and yet their hard work wasn't hard enough apparently, and they're still just a lazy piece of shit. What does that do to their self-esteem? What does that do to their self-image? And when they reach that point and they realize that, well, maybe I don't train hard enough, maybe the 10 or 15 hours a week of me losing my friendships and putting the training first in my life hasn't been good enough, it hasn't been hard enough, so maybe I am lazy and I do just need the steroids, like that person said. And you still, at the end of the day, with that message, you're still pushing those people towards using steroids because you have given them an unrealistic standard. So yes, the fake natties, whether they are just truly that genetically gifted or whether they really are fake natties, the message is still the same when they promote that idea, though it's just lazy people talking, and people who can't get where I am are just being lazy without admitting that they have some sort of edge that the other people don't have. It is either drugs or genetics or a combination, but it's almost always a genetic component. Because very few people look amazing just from hard work if they're not genetically gifted. And this massively contributes to the negative self-images and the emotional health and the mental health of young men who come on the internet and start working out, who might have otherwise been taking up something that's very positive and healthy, and they're given these unrealistic images and unrealistic examples to strive towards that the majority of people are simply genetically incapable of reaching. And then on top of it, they're told that they're lazy when they don't reach it. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh, Mount Vesuvius.